Okay.
All right, now you're ready.
All right, great. So let's call the roll, and you can also let me know who else is here. I can only see 9, so that's what I got.
Perfect. So Chair Merzick,
Here.
Commissioner Palmer,
Here.
Commissioner Livermore,
He's muted.
you're
But he's-
muted. I see him. Commissioner Levinson, I do not see, and Councilmember Drenick.
Here.
Great, thanks very much.
And then I also see in attendance city-wise, I see Jeremy Wright, Stan Schaefer, Steve Yearly, John Hester, and Joe Schlafer.
Thanks, all
And
of
then the
you.
representatives from the properties that you've already identified.
Okay, so our agenda, we're going to wait to do the minutes at the end so we aren't holding up our petitioners. Our first item of business is 20 Fair Street. Mr. Marino, this has been on our agenda for a while. We made a decision earlier to deny his appeal, but took that back based on the request he made to have his meter tested. That's been done, and his meter is working fine. So I would like to make a motion that we deny his appeal. We only have the meter to work with, and it looks like everything. I suppose, Jeremy, I should ask you, did you see any reason why the meter might not be working?
No, all the tests we ran on it were all accurate.
Okay, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
So I make a motion that we deny the appeal of 20 Fair Street water and sewer bill.
Second it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, you can call the roll.
Chair Merzick,
Yes.
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, we have the same situation for 396 Chestnut Street. We delayed a decision on that property to do more research and to allow the meter to be tested at the owner's request. That has been done. Jeremy, I assumed from your comments that the meter is fine.
Correct.
So I also make a motion that we deny this appeal.
I second it.
Thank you. Additional discussion here. Okay, I guess, Carrie, go ahead.
Chair Merzick,
Thank you. Yes.
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Can you guys see me or hear me? Sorry.
Who are speaking?
It's
Dana.
Dana. There she is. Now I see you.
we
Yes.
couldn't
Oh,
hear you.
Janet, yeah, now you're
Sorry,
here.
it wasn't letting me in. Sorry.
That's okay. We're glad you're here.
That's okay. I've heard the first two questions.
Yeah, we decided on both 20 Fair Street and 396 Chestnut that all our evidence is that the meter is working fine,
Yes, I
and
heard.
we've just voted to deny that appeal.
Yes, I heard. Thank you.
Okay, great. The next one is an oldie, not too old, but if you remember 36 Chestnut Street or 36 Cherry Street, this will be very familiar to Mark. The owner has submitted nothing to the city, and he, because he submitted nothing, he was assessed the blighted property fee. He questioned that, saying that he thought we had decided to give him lots of time because he was under orders for COVID. And that was not my recollection. My recollection is we said, you need to get immediately in touch with the code enforcement office and we'll give you time to make the corrections, but you need to come up with a plan right away. I think that's what we did. You know, the minutes don't necessarily show that, but I want to clarify that on behalf of the code enforcement office, who are being harassed a little bit. I don't want to put it pejoratively, but they're being questioned by Mr. Garrett as to why he needed to take some action. Further discussion, anybody?
Nope.
Is that what we remember?
That's what I remember.
Okay. Carrie, would you just make a note that we reaffirm, well, actually, we'll vote on it. I would like to make a motion that we reaffirm our decision to declare this property blighted, and that the property owner has 30 days to submit a plan to the code enforcement office. He doesn't need to start repairs. If he's still under orders, we understand that, but he needs to submit a plan that the code enforcement office can work with him on. That's my motion.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Additional discussion? Okay. Go, Carrie.
Chair Mazick,
Yes.
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes,
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes.
Commissioner Levinson.
Yes.
Passes.
Okay, thank you. And finally, we have a 18 Cherry Street. If you all read in the paper that the property is actually, the land bank actually tore down the property. However, part of our decision was to also remove the tree that is dangerously over the property next, behind it. And the owner of the property has contacted the code enforcement office and said, why wasn't that done? And we have the same question. Why wasn't that included in, because that was part of our order. So I would like to renew that order and let the Common Council know that the tree needs to be removed. And that's my motion, that we're renewing our order that the tree at the back of 18 Cherry Street needs to be removed.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Is there any discussion about that? I mean, I remember it clearly, and that was
I remember
the
it.
initial, that was our initial call to the property. And then we turned it into an unsafe. And then, of course, the land bank made a decision to,
The tree didn't take down was the one on the
but
other.
they, right.
Yeah,
But the tree was not, somehow was left off that order. I mean, it was left off the
Work.
action by the land bank.
Yeah. Right.
Any further discussion?
No.
No.
All right, Carrie, you can take us right down.
Chair Mazick,
Yes.
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes,
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes.
Commissioner Levinson.
Yes.
Passes.
Okay. Thank you. Now on to new business. Susan Lettuce, you're here. So we're going to talk a little bit about, and we're sorry, Stan and Jeremy, we want to talk about the water, but we have some petitioners here. We'll get to that as quickly as we can. Anyway, 57 Union Street, they would like to take their garage down. It is in very bad condition. We have pictures. We're going to review our unsafe. Oh, thank you. Here are the pictures. According to the owner, it's uninsurable because of its condition. You can scroll through the pictures, Carrie. Thank you.
I'm working on it. It's not cooperating. I'm sorry.
Okay.
what's the address on this? That's
This is
the
57 Union
Union,
Street.
okay.
This is at the back of the property.
Yeah, I drove by
Um,
tonight.
Ms. Lettuce, if you would like to speak on this while we're looking at the pictures, you're welcome to.
Sure. So we would like to tear it down and rebuild a garage basically on the same footprint. Well, you know, if you guys allow this to be torn down, we would then file an application to get a permit to build a new garage. And it's just ugly, and it's there's squirrels that live inside of it. It's tilted. I'm not sure if any of the photos would show that
Yes,
or
we
not.
did see that from one of the photos,
Okay.
at least.
So, I mean, we had thought about repairing it, but then as we were just doing research over the summer, it just seems like it might just be a better idea to start over. There's been some additions made through the years there. You can see a bump out on the front. I mean,
Yep.
there's holes in the back of it. That's
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yes, and we're sorry we missed that on our agenda earlier.
Well, that's okay.
Yep. There you go. Well, that was to accommodate a longer car, I'm sure.
Yeah. Now we have a new car and it doesn't fit. So that's another problem.
Whoopsie.
We also had, if anybody is worried about the property lines, we did have our property surveyed and it's now on file. So when we rebuild, we'll make sure that, we're in the setbacks and everything like that. But I know that that's not the issue today.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so we have, under Chapter 92, we have a procedure that we go through that identifies conditions on structures that would, under building code, render those structures unsafe. And so we're going to review those items. It seems to me that the items that are in our code in Chapter 92 are A, those whose interior walls or other vertical structures list, lean, or buckle. B, those which exclusive of their foundation show 33% or more damage or deterioration. D, those which have been damaged by fire, wind, or other causes so as to become dangerous to the life, safety, morals, general health, and welfare of the occupants. And E, those which have become so dilapidated, decayed, unsafe, unsanitary. Well, no, probably not E. That's like going a little too far. Anyway,
Would it possibly be J if she's saying something about land being surveyed? Is it encroaching the other property?
I don't think it is, but I don't think we can necessarily use that, but I don't think we need to.
Okay.
I think if we declare it unsafe based on A, B, C, and D, we're well within our rights, and the owner is asking for this. For those of you who are listening in, we have used Chapter 92 to accommodate a streamlining of getting a building permit to raise old structures at the owner's request and either not replace them or replace them. The other avenue that an owner can go to is the planning board, which requires site plan review and seeker and a lot of steps that usually in the case of a garage especially are not really necessary. So that's what we're doing here today. And I will entertain a motion to declare this property unsafe based on A, B, C, and D of Chapter 92.
Make that motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second it.
2 seconds. Thank you. All right. So first we vote on that. So Carrie, you want to call the roll?
Chair Merzick,
Yes.
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes.
Commissioner Levinson.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, thanks.
Passes.
And now our second order is the order to do something about it. So I'll make a motion that we, at the owner's request, order this property be demolished with the understanding that any future structure will be approved through a building permit with the code enforcement office.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Is there a length of time attached to that?
No,
Okay.
I think the property owner is going to take care of that, really.
Yes,
think
we
we-
will.
I don't think we need to in this case. It's not imminently falling down and we don't need to secure it. It's not a danger to anyone in the neighborhood. So I think we don't have to put a time limit on it. I'm sure they want to get it down before the snow flies, but whatever. So with that in mind, is that okay with everybody?
I mean,
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So Carrie,
Chair Merzick,
yes.
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes.
Commissioner Levinson.
Yes.
Motion
Thank
passed.
you. Okay, thank you, Ms. Lettuce. I don't think you need to hang around. I think we took care of that. Okay, the next item we have on our agenda, we're going to deviate from our agenda just a little bit right now. We have 22 West Street, 4 Railroad Avenue, 18587 Chestnut Street, which Mr. Trimble is here for. Are you still here?
Mr. Wilkie is here for
Oh, Wilkie, I'm
185.
sorry. Wilkie.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. So this property has appealed heating inspection. And for the benefit of the board members, this property requires a state inspection whenever the state gets around to it, and it's usually no more than 2 years. Our code often requires it to happen before the state gets around to it. However, in this case, the deficiency, the reason there was a administrative fee is that the owner failed to notify us that the state had actually done the inspection. If it's done privately, the owner gets a copy of it and sends it to us, or the inspector does, but the state does not do that. They just affix something to the furnace and that's that. And so in this case, we had an inspection from 2017, and we require every 2 years. So not knowing that there'd been an inspection in 2018, we sent a letter saying, please let us know that it's been done in 2019, and heard nothing. A new inspection was done in 2020. The owner sent that, and that's when the fee terminated. So there was an inspection in 2018. We were never notified of that. So now, Mr. Wilkie, it's your turn.
Yeah, this was before I started working for YDMM. I did contact the senior boiler inspector, and he sent me that there was the inspection done in 2018.
Yes, we got a copy of that.
Okay.
So we know that it was done, and often we've vacated appeals. The problem, Mr. Wilkie, is that it's really the responsibility of the owner to let us know.
Right.
And when he got that letter in 2019, he should have just said, hey, it was done. Here's a copy of it. Here's a photo of it. Whatever, it wasn't done. And so we have done nothing wrong here. But on the other hand, the inspection was done. So board members, what's your thoughts on this?
I don't quite understand. In other words, it's basically because he did not notify us.
Right.
Okay.
So just a question for you. The invoice says no fees assessed 3/17/2020 to 7/1/2020.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when we received the actual documentation that, hey, this was done, they just never sent it to you?
No, they finally sent, Mr. Wilkie probably sent us the inspection.
Correct.
Which was done the second one was done on 7/30. The first one was done on
Right. I have it right here. Let's see.
28/17.
Yeah. But it was the 2018 one that we never got any notification of.
No.
So 2018, we were scheduled to have something from them saying it was done, but they did it earlier than that. Is that what you were saying? Sorry.
No, they had it done in 2017. That was by private. That's because the state
privately.
hadn't done it.
Okay, because the
And
state.
then the state did it in 2018. They just say, we're showing up, we're doing it. It's free, so nobody questions that. So when Mr. Dukakis received the notice that it was due November 29th, 2019, it had already been done. But nobody notified us.
But
So
there's
that,
no paperwork saying that it was done in 2018 to the city. And we requested it in 2019.
yes, that,
The sticker attached to the machine is what you're, to the boiler is what you're saying.
yeah, and without a notification by the owner,
There's nothing.
we don't know that.
Correct.
So in a way, we have I mean, both sides are right. Mr. Dukakis is correct that the inspection was done. We also weren't notified of that. I think usually when we see something has been done, we vacate the administrative fee. And I think probably we should do that in this case.
That's what my feeling is
Yeah,
too.
because the main
Yeah.
thing is it was done. That's the main.
Yes, that's really right. And the administrative fees are to encourage it to be done. However, Mr. Wilkie, will you please let Mr. Dukakis know that if this ever happens again, we will probably not vacate the fee,
Absolutely.
because he needs to know that he
It's
needs to
responsibility.
notify us when he gets a letter from us saying something needs to be done. He needs to let us know that it's already been done. I mean, it's a waste of our manpower. And that's what the administrative fees are to cover.
Right.
So I entertain a motion to vacate these fees based on the documentation we've received that it was done, with a proviso in the minutes that Mr. Dukakis in the future needs to notify us.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Okay,
Chair Merzick,
yes.
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes,
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes.
Commissioner Levinson,
Yes.
passes.
Okay, thank you. Now, the next item we have is, that was 8. We have, this is 3rd Street.
8 Third Street.
Are you, Ms. Tribble, are you 3rd Street?
Yep, 8 Third Street, yeah.
Okay. So, John, why don't you talk us through the situation at 3rd Street?
Okay, I'll try to make it as quick as possible. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay. So we found out that this property was being rented. Basically, the fire department responded for a call. They notified us via email and said, we're concerned about the sanitary issues at the house, and we think code needs to be involved at this point. And at that time, we had Wayne Gregory down as the owner of the property. I contacted Josh Gregory, and he told me they no longer own the property. They sold it to Mrs. Trimble. So I reached out to Mrs. Trimble, and she said it was indeed being rented. And I was like, we need to get that on the books. And she was concerned about the tenant that was living there already. So what we did was we tried to schedule a housing inspection, and the tenant delayed due to, I guess, quarantining in the family. And I believe she said that one of the children that she was close to there actually did have COVID. So we couldn't make the inspection. So the inspection was rescheduled to this Monday, this past Monday, and Mrs. Trimble contacted OPD to meet us there. I'm glad they actually showed up there to be there for us. But I met Officer Catapano and went to the door. The tenants were very willing to let us in the building. Mrs. Trimble showed up with her husband. They waited on the exterior of the building while Catapano and I went inside. When I went in the door, I noticed a lot of personal belongings in boxes. throughout the house. Every room seemed to have boxes of personal belongings, restricting egress. It just looked like somebody had moved out of a larger home and moved it into that building, and turns out she actually moved items from her business into the house. So there was a lot of areas I could get by, but they were restricted. And then I went to the deck that's attached to the house, asked what all the garbage bags were on the deck, and she said they were personal items that she had to temporarily store there because she didn't have storage. And I said, well, you know, you've got maggots crawling out of some of these bags, so there's obviously trash here and it smells very bad. So I said, you need to get this out of here right away. And I told her that, you know, we could technically remove it right away. I went back in the building. I noticed that there was food left out that has solidified, and multiple meals of food left out that had solidified. There were animal feces just going up the stairway on the floor. And I noticed the entire time it looked, there just, people kept popping out. And I would see a new face and a new face and a new face. And I went upstairs, inspected those bedrooms. No smoke detectors worked. No carbon monoxide detectors worked. So I came back downstairs, went in the basement, met new people in the basement. They have a room that's been framed up in the basement that is, we don't have any record of it. We have no building permits for it, and a guy was actually living in it. And as I was inspecting that room, I asked him, I pointed to a door and I said, what's that? And he said, that's a storage room. It's just laundry in a storage room down here. And I said, well, let's go over and check it out. And he said, well, it's just a storage room. So I went over and opened the door, and there was a guy sitting on a bed watching TV in the unfinished portion of the basement. So we're talking about dirt floor type, stone foundation, open joist, extension cords. So I think I counted a total of 9 people in that building,
Oh my.
including a baby. So I had a discussion with Mrs. Trimble when I got outside. I told her what we were planning on doing and how we would like to declare it unsafe, because I found plenty of things. I didn't get pictures because I got the feeling right away she wasn't going to let me do that. So, you know, these are my observations I made, and hopefully that's enough. But
Sounds good to me.
What is
I'm
the-
worried.
What is the building authorized for in terms of occupancy?
Well, it would be 3 unrelated people. Of course, you have families that are larger than that. I think the problem comes in there is the size. So I'd have to confirm the size of bedrooms. And also, I don't know what's going on in the basement, but none of that is legal in our eyes. Even if there was 2 people upstairs and 1 person in the basement, that would not be legal.
Okay, so, hi, Penny, it's your turn.
Hi. We did purchase the home from the Gregories. We purchased it in September of last year. Angela moved in October, and the first trash concern we had was in November. So this has been an ongoing thing with her. It happened again in December, again with trash. In February, she paid her rent, but the check was not good, and she has not paid since March. And we have literally been locked out of the house since March. We have tried numerous times to get in. We've tried to do inspections, absolutely refused to let us in due to COVID related. So we did contact an attorney, And they said because of COVID, our hands were pretty much tied.
Mhm.
We've talked to her about the trash. We've talked to her about number of people there. CPS has been involved because there's children there. But CPS gave a 5-day notice. Of course, the kids were gone when they got there. So an ideal situation for us would be to go along with John's recommendation and have it condemned and have her vacate the property.
Good to me.
Yeah. Trust that.
One of the things, well, we're going to make a decision on this, and then we'll talk about remedy. So based on our requirements under Chapter 92, we have to identify those conditions which would cause us to declare this property unsafe. The Code Enforcement Office has identified E, F, G, and I. I think probably also J because of violating the city code in terms of the living space in the basement. So I would add J to that. Any questions or concerns from the board members
No.
in terms of those designations?
Are
I
they
have a
still-
question about the actual structure of the home. Everything else is okay as far as that, or are they destroying it as well to look at any of the foundation issues or, well, not foundation issues, but anything as far as walls being destroyed and interior walls being compromised or anything like that? Is that okay that you've saw?
Actually, to be honest with you, if you took the boxes and the tenant created problems out of the building, it would probably be a pretty decent rental. Like I said, we would definitely need documentation of that downstairs bedroom. And then I wasn't able to access the exterior of the property. It's on a very steep hill, and you can get out of the building. They have a back door there, but the gentleman that was living in the basement, he seemed intentionally blocking my way, and every time I got closer to him, he would step in front of me. So I didn't push through to the back of the building.
Well, the question I have, John, and I'm asking this question partly for Mrs. Trimble's benefit. It wouldn't be, in your estimation, something that they could get authorized, the bedroom in the basement.
So the city code used to say that you could not have habitable space at all in the basement. That has changed, and basically we need to ensure that the egress is there, and the fact that I haven't personally looked at it, we don't have any documentation of that bedroom existing. It would have to be reviewed, but again,
All right, but
I would think
that's not guaranteed. Authorization.
correct, and it does not increase the occupancy of the building. It's still 3 unrelated.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we're all clear on that, Mrs. Trimble? I
Yeah.
don't want surprises.
Yeah, no, we want it rented as a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. So
Okay.
that's strictly storage down there.
Okay, so I make a motion that we declare this property unsafe based on E, F, G, I, and J.
Second it.
Thank you. Further discussion? Okay,
Are the people still
Mary?
living in this house right now?
Yes, all those people are living there.
9 people, including a child.
Yep.
The lease is for Angela and her 2 children. Well, one of them's like 19 or 20, I think, and then a 17-year-old. That's all that's supposed to be living
For
there.
3 people normally.
Yep.
I think they gotta be taken off.
So, I mean, I don't know if we're going to cover this, but of course, I have lots of questions as to how we get them out and clean up and all of that. I suppose we're going to talk about that.
all right. And my suggestion is that's not something the Board of Public Service, we're going to issue an order if we declare it unsafe. But I would work with Code Enforcement Office and the Police Department. Code will walk you through this, I think.
Okay.
Won't you guys? I'm assuming I'm not giving you something you don't want.
Well, I mean, we obviously did one of these on a much larger scale before. Typically, it would be up to the owner to process an eviction. But I mean, like I said, we did one of these at the Oneonta Hotel, which is obviously the same exact, would in theory be the same exact process if it came
Okay.
to that.
All right, except you'd have the cooperation of the owner. So we have a motion on the floor.
I'll second that motion.
No, I think it has been.
Yeah.
You have a motion and a second on the
Yeah,
floor.
we have a
yes.
motion and a
Yes,
second.
okay.
So let's vote.
Chair Merzick,
Yes.
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes.
Commissioner Levinson,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay, so as in terms of what happens afterwards, we have three options in repair, vacation, or demolition. I don't think demolition is in the cards here.
No.
But we do want repair. We want the exterior trash picked up. I know that's what you want too, Mrs. Trimble. And we certainly want it vacated until the conditions in the property can be remedied. So with that in mind, I will make a motion that we order this property repaired, especially the exterior, and vacated as quickly as possible within 30 days. And hopefully that will help you. So that's my motion.
Second.
I'll second that motion.
I think Dana just did. Any further discussion? Again, Mrs. Trimble, work with the code enforcement office. They will give you some assistance in what this means.
Okay,
And
yeah,
you-
because we can't evict them, so,
Well, you might be able to, under the circumstances.
okay,
But we'll work on that. I mean,
Okay.
we're helping you in the way we can.
awesome. Okay, all
Okay,
right, sounds good.
so with that in mind, let's vote.
Chair Merzick,
Yes.
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes.
Commissioner Levinson, Commissioner Levinson.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
No, I
we-
can, sorry.
No, that's
Thank
okay.
you.
Passes.
I think it's lagging a little bit on my end too.
All right, good. Now we have two more unsafe. One is 22 West Street, which we don't have a lot of information on. And so I'm going to turn that over to Joe or Steve or John and let you fill us in on 22 West Street. That just came on our agenda today. So let us know what the situation is.
Can I leave now, or do you need me to stay?
Oh, yeah. You can
Okay.
leave.
All right,
Good
thanks,
luck.
everybody.
Good luck.
Yep, thank you.
Bye.
Okay, 22 West Street.
So last week, probably Thursday or Friday, Mark Hogue called 22 West Street. There'd been a NYSEG shutoff. It's pretty much just outlined in the piece from the police here. The occupant of the property has essentially jumped power from one panel to power his own home. The owner is concerned that he's going to continue to do this. The owner is also concerned that the individual is using candles and other non-approved methods basically to work around not having electricity. It's kind of similar to the last one we just had. They're not really cooperating with the property owner or with NYSEG. So our intent would be to declare it unsafe based on the fact that they're basically doing he's doing electric work that could, cause a fire.
Right, that's the fire consideration.
Yeah, I mean, basically he's doing electric work on wiring in the basement to provide his apartment with electricity, which obviously is dangerous for the people that live upstairs. He's also, like I said, using candles. They're worried he's going to try to cook food inside. So our intent would to be declared unsafe with the idea that it would essentially assist in removing the tenant.
Okay, and
And like I said, there's a narrative that was submitted with the
right, the
unsafe.
report from the NYSEG person. I mean, normally this would be something that NYSEG would take care of. But I understand now better what you're looking for from us. And this is basically to assist the property owner in remedying a tenant problem that causes danger for the rest of the tenants.
Correct.
Do we know what the number of the apartment is?
It should be, actually, one second, let me get it. I got it yesterday. Okay. Apartment 1.
1. So we have in the past found buildings or residences to be unsafe and ordered a certain part of it vacated. I mean, that would apply to the hotel, but it would also apply to some other apartment houses that we've had that have this same kind of tenant damage. So with that in mind, we haven't actually gotten anything from you as to what you would recommend in terms of the 12 items in Chapter 92, but I will take a stab at it and say those which have been damaged by fire, wind, or other causes, those which have light, air, sanitation facilities which are inadequate, and those which have been damaged by, oh no, that's the D. So D, F, I, and J, which is a building which is outside of our zoning code, which would include the need to have electric service or some kind of heating service to the building. So D, F, and J. Discussion.
Do you want us to make a motion? Would you like someone on the floor to
Well,
make a motion?
sure, you could make a motion. I mean, I'm happy to make a motion too, but you're welcome to.
Okay, so I make a motion that 22 West Street will be unsafe with D, F, I, and J as the reading line.
All right, I'll second that motion. Further discussion? Okay, Carrie, go ahead.
Just as a point of clarification, you had spoken earlier about isolating it to a singular apartment. Is this 22 West Street as a whole or 22 West Street apartment 1?
Apartment 1.
Our
correct?
remedy is going to be to apartment 1.
Okay, but the motion is the property as a whole.
I think we should, because
Okay.
it is a danger to the other tenants.
Correct.
Okay, I just
And
wanted to clarify.
the building itself needs to be posted, I think. So I don't think we're going to post just one apartment.
Chair
how do
Marzek?
you feel about that? Oh, yes.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes.
Commissioner Levinson.
Yes.
Passes.
Thank you. So the remedy would be to order the property repaired and vacated, apartment 1.
Right.
And we would ask the electric service to be regularly inspected. This is going to cost the owner because we should have an electrician regularly access the building and check on the electric service. So I would say within 10 days, a regular check on the electric service, and within 60 days, the property should be repaired and vacated. Yes? Does that sound good?
Sounds good to
What do you
me.
think, Steve?
Um,
Is that soon enough for you?
I would just say once the property's repaired or brought into compliance, I mean, that's what we're looking for. I mean, what makes it unsafe is the electrical condition. So I would say, I mean, within 30 days, have it in compliance with the electrical code
Okay, all right.
or
So-
all applicable codes.
Okay, so all applicable codes. All right, fair enough. So apartment 1, repaired and vacated within 30 days.
3 days, okay?
I second that motion.
Okay, great. A further discussion? Okay, Carrie,
Chair Merzick,
yes.
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes.
Commissioner Levinson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the water service, just because Stan and Jeremy are here. We'll get on to Nate's Auto in just a minute. So talk to us a little bit about, first of all, about the leak detection survey that the city has done, and also what the situation is with these services that need to be repaired. Jeremy? Stan?
The leak detection was here, and I'm not sure what property you want information on that they found a leak
Oh.
on.
We have the Main Street property and the Schoolhouse Lane.
Okay, the Schoolhouse Lane one was a property owner's issue. That was a leak on their side, and the same for the cemetery and on Main Street.
Yep. Have you gotten any cooperation from the property owner?
I haven't heard anything on the Schoolhouse Lane one, but I have with the cemetery, and they are in the process of repair right now.
Oh, good. Okay, that's great. That's really good news. I know we aren't allowed to turn off water based on an order from the governor's office. So are we monitoring the Schoolhouse Lane one at all?
I believe the Schoolhouse Lane one is off, but because it's vacant at this time.
Oh, okay,
House-
good.
The home is for sale.
Oh,
So it's
Okay.
vacant, it's vacant right now.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's remember though, guys, to notify the finance office that if the property is sold, that before we turn the water back on, the leak needs to be repaired, so that there isn't a surprise when the new owner finds out that he can't turn the water back on. So can we make a note to notify the finance office in case they get I suppose you guys are also going to be notified because you turned the water back on.
Correct.
Okay, so no turning the water back on. I think maybe that's what we should do is I make a motion that we order you not to turn the water back on for a new owner unless the leak is repaired.
Okay.
And that they be notified of that in whatever way we can find to notify them, because it is in the town.
Sure. Okay.
So it may go ahead without us and they'll be calling and just say, oh, you have a leak, you have to fix it before we turn it back on.
Okay.
So that's my motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you, Dana.
Yep.
Any further discussion?
I have a question.
Yes?
Is this house on the vacant list?
Oh, it's not on, it's in the town.
Oh, it's in the town. Sorry, I didn't
Yeah,
hear you.
the
say that. I
town, so-
apologize.
We don't have anything to do with that,
Yeah, sorry.
which is one of our complications, honestly.
Yeah, and that's good reasoning not to turn it back on until,
Yeah,
because
we just have to remember not,
before, yeah,
yeah, we ran into that before and it was a big problem.
that's a big problem, yeah. Okay,
Yeah, all right, so Carrie,
Chair Merzick,
yes?
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes.
Commissioner Levinson.
yes.
Passes.
Okay, great, thanks. And thank you, Stan and Jeremy, for being here. I don't think you need to hang around at this point. We only have we have 2 more items on our agenda. One is Nate's Auto, which we thought we might have to take immediate action, but it didn't work out and I was away last week. So, so I don't think we need to go through the whole list of things. I mean, this is a building that has been more than 50% damaged. And so Chapter 92 directs us that if a building is more than 50% damaged, it shall be demolished. So I make a motion that we declare it unsafe based on the amount of damage.
Second it.
Thank you, Phil. Further discussion? Okay, Carrie, go.
Chair Mazick,
Yes?
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes.
Commissioner Levinson.
Yes.
Passes.
Okay, with that in mind, we order it demolished.
Second it.
Thank you. Go ahead. I don't think we have to discuss this. Unless there's something more you want us to do, Steve. Steve,
No,
Joe.
they've already filed a site plan approval to build a new garage back, so
Oh, okay.
intent.
All right.
Just need to remove the
So,
debris.
so this is only going to make it so that they don't have to go through site plan review.
Well, they're gonna have to go to site plan review anyway. The thing was, they didn't want to have to secure it because it was so dilapidated. They
Oh,
wanted to pull all the debris away.
so is this unnecessary for us to do this?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
They want to
All
just haul the stuff away, right? Is that the whole reasoning behind it?
Yeah, we just want to go through the right processes.
All right. Okay. So
All right.
let's vote.
Chair Mazick,
Yes?
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes.
Commissioner Levinson.
Yes.
Passes.
You? Okay, and now we just have to approve the minutes of
Wait,
September
Can I
3rd.
ask a question? Did we
Yes,
look
sir.
at 4 Railroad Avenue? Number 7?
Oh, that's Nate's. That's Nate's
That's
Auto.
Nate.
Oh, that
That's
is
the one we just did.
All right.
We just took it last because we had
All
other
the
people
addresses
waiting.
Go with them?
Yeah, yeah, we're done. Except for the minutes. So I make a motion, we approve the minutes of September 3rd.
I second that motion.
Thank you. Any changes, amendments?
Let's see.
Carrie, you're just doing a great job. These are really nice and clear.
Do without her.
Okay, go ahead.
Chair Mazick,
Yes,
Commissioner Palmer,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes.
Commissioner Levinson.
Yes.
Passes.
okay, thank you all. I just want to say that I try very hard not to put things on at the last minute. And I really appreciate your going with the stuff that we just got. It kind of rolled in at the last minute and usually we
Any
don't allow that, but
Any chance
Yeah.
to bring it back upstairs again?
Maybe next month.
okay, do you have anything else for us?
Work on
Steve
that,
or-
Dana.
or Joe?
We're going back to school, so maybe.
Maybe.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Carrie.